Hi everyone, it's Dave from Doctors of Running, and today I wanted to do a breakdown video for the On Cloudsurfer lineup. So that would include the On Cloudsurfer Next, the On Cloudsurfer, and the On Cloudsurfer Max. And this video will probably focus a little bit more on the On Cloudsurfer Max, since that is the recent release that we are going to be seeing right now. But to break it down, the On Cloudsurfer lineup, the thing that makes it unique from the rest of the On lineup is that it does not use the speedboard. So this uses what we call On CloudTec Phase. And so that is still the Helion midsole that you see in a lot of the other shoes, but now there's no speedboard, and the holes are a little bit more diagonal and kind of angled forward a little bit. So you kind of get this slight give in the foam, and it kind of makes you feel like you're pitched forward slightly. That's going to be consistent across all of the models. Now, for the On Cloudsurfer, I don't have my On Cloudsurfer 2s on me, so I'm just using the original as the base. There was some slight tuning in the second version, but they're pretty similar overall. But the On Cloudsurfer Next, this was meant to be kind of the more performance-oriented version of the Cloudsurfer, still on the training side of things, but give you a lightweight trainer feel. When we look at specs, this shoe is right around the 250, 260 gram area, kind of that low 9-ounce range. The same goes for the Cloudsurfer. So what's the difference? So On Cloudsurfer had a little bit more of a rocker profile to it, a little bit more built for daily miles, a little less snappiness to it, and a little bit more flexibility to the platform, whereas the Cloudsurfer Next, a little bit more rigid, a little bit less of a rocker profile, kind of meant to give you a more speedy feel when you get going, a little bit more of a snappy feel. Now the On Cloudsurfer Max is meant to be the premium daily training companion in that rotation. This, we don't have stack height measurements on this yet, but we do know it's at 292 grams. That's 10.3 ounces in men's size 9. So a little bit more robust, but definitely more foam underfoot, and it gives you kind of that high stack rockered experience. In all of these shoes, I will say the CloudTec Phase runs a little bit on the firmer side. The Cloudsurfer feels to be the softer of the options, but there's more of the foam in the Cloudsurfer Max. And so this is a 6mm drop platform, 292 grams, and it kind of just gives you that high stack rockered experience you'd expect from kind of like the premium shoe market. I will say the foam does feel on the firmer side, pretty far on the firmer side, but there's a lot of it. So for those wanting a lot of cushioning underfoot, but still having a firm rockered experience, you can get that with this shoe. And I know that's a pretty niche crowd because a lot of people like it to be really plush, but I am one of the people that tend to respond better to firmer platforms. And so this gives me plenty of foam underfoot that I can do for longer efforts without feeling mushy soft or like hurting my foot, because sometimes my intrinsics and my feet will get tired with some of these high stack options. So this is a shoe that is higher up, but it's firmer and can still give you that rockered experience. I will say it's kind of more on the stable neutral side. You have some tall sidewalls there, both on the medial and lateral side, through that rear foot into the midfoot. The base is still very neutral. There's nothing really going on there, and the sole flaring is minimal. So still a neutral platform, but it still runs pretty stable for being a neutral platform because of the firmer foam in the sidewalls. Outsole traction, they put some high abrasion rubber on there and a little bit more of it. So I think that does speak to the firmer ride of it as well, because that kind of thickens that out a little bit. But the general experience is a firm rockered experience, very rhythmic, very nice for easy efforts. I will say the foam doesn't feel as responsive as it probably could be, or at least compared to other models, but it's really nice for easy rhythmic efforts. I like this shoe a lot for easy days, long runs, and then I will also toss out standing and walking. This is kind of like a nice travel shoe that I found. I took this to San Francisco the other weekend, and I only packed one shoe. I knew I wasn't going to be doing any speed workouts, and I knew I wouldn't really want to do any speed workouts in this shoe, but I felt like standing, walking, traveling, doing all of that, and then easy runs, did very well across that category. My only gripe with this shoe, like when we look at the shoe, it fits and it locks down really well. It has kind of a knit tongue upper, and kind of it wraps around with a stiff heel counter, and the width is very normal through the heel and midfoot with kind of a wider forefoot. It does taper a little quickly up here, but I think there's enough space in the metatarsal heads to be okay. The tongue is really thin though, and so I do get a little bit of biting when I lock the laces down. I wish that was a little bit better, but other than that, I actually really enjoyed this shoe for easy efforts. It is going to be too firm for some people. I will just go out and say that. But for the people that like the firm boys out there, this shoe delivers. So that's kind of breaking down the shoe lineup for the On Cloudsurfer models. All neutral shoes. but the Next is going to be kind of like your more performance feel, slightly less rockered, a little bit more snappy experience. The Cloudsurfer is going to give you that flagship neutral trainer, a little bit softer, a little bit more flexible, kind of more of a gradual rocker experience right in the middle. On Cloudsurfer Max is going to give you more foam, firmer experience, but it's going to give you more of that high stack rockered experience for you. That's the On Cloudsurfer lineup.